In the shadow of the Roman eagle, amidst the clash of steel and the roar of legions, a different breed of warrior rose, elite horsemen, unmatched in bravery, loyalty, and deadly skill. These were the Roman knights, the equites, guardians of the empire, champions of Caesars, and heroes of forgotten epics. Today we journey through time to honor the greatest of them all. This is the story of the 10 greatest knights of the Roman era. Marcus Valerius Corvus, the duel with the Gaul. Our story begins in 349 BCE. The Roman Republic is still young. A Gallic giant challenges Rome's pride by demanding a duel before battle. Out of the ranks steps a 23-year-old Roman officer, Marcus Valerius. As he approaches the towering barbarian, a raven lands on his helmet, pecking at the Gaul during the duel. With the bird as his omen and courage as his blade, Marcus defeats the Gaul in single combat. The Senate honors him with the name Corvus, Latin for raven. He rises to become a 6-time consul and a legendary knight of the early republic. Publius Decius Mus, the self-sacrificing knight. The 4th century BCE, Rome is locked in bitter wars with the Samnites. Enter Publius Decius Mus, a knight, a consul, and a warrior priest. During the Battle of Vesuvius, the Roman line falters. Publius invokes the ancient rite of devotio, sacrificing himself to the gods of the underworld. He charges into enemy lines alone, knowing he will die, but believing his death will save Rome. And it does. The enemy is broken. His son would follow in his footsteps, dying the same way. The name Decius becomes synonymous with valor beyond the grave. Gaius Centenius, the tragic knight of Cannae. In 216 BCE, Rome suffers one of its darkest hours, the Battle of Cannae. Hannibal, the Carthaginian genius, crushes the Roman legions in a pincer movement. But amidst the slaughter, one Roman equestrian refuses to flee, Gaius Centenius. Sent with 4,000 cavalry as reinforcements, he attempts to outflank Hannibal's rear. Instead, he's surrounded and annihilated. But his stand delays Carthaginian movements just long enough to let other Roman forces retreat. Though he perished, Centenius is remembered as a symbol of grit, galloping toward death for the good of the Republic. Tiberius Sempronius Gracchus, the Knight of Freedom. Gracchus was no ordinary equestrian. He was a consul, general, and a man who saw humanity in the enslaved. During the Second Punic War, he recruited escaped slaves to fight for Rome, promising them freedom if they stood firm in battle. And they did. Gracchus led his slave army to multiple victories against Hannibal's forces, treating his men as equals on the battlefield. He honored his promises, freeing them after each victory. Though he was later ambushed and killed, his legacy as a knight who believed in dignity transcends generations. Lucius Quinctius Flamininus, the liberator of Greece. By the 2nd century BCE, Rome had grown into a Mediterranean superpower. Flamininus, a knight from an elite Roman family, leads the Roman legions into Greece. But instead of conquest, he declares freedom for the Greek cities. At the Isthmian Games, he proclaims before thousands, "The Greeks are free." The crowd erupts in celebration. Coins are minted with his name. Statues rise in his honor. He could have ruled as a king, but chose to act as Rome's ideal knight, conqueror without chains, hero without a crown. Julius Caesar, the Knight Emperor. Before he was emperor, before he was dictator, Julius Caesar was a knight. Born into the patrician Julii family, he began his career in the cavalry. During the siege of Mytilene, he earned the civic crown, the second highest Roman military honor, for saving the lives of fellow soldiers. His equestrian spirit never faded. He led from the front, crossed the Rubicon, and redefined Rome with sword and strategy. Though remembered as a statesman, Caesar's rise began on horseback, where every Roman knight's journey starts. Publius Quinctilius Varus, the fallen knight of Teutoburg. Not every knight's story ends in glory. Varus was a decorated knight and governor, tasked with pacifying Germania. But in 9 CE, he marched 3 legions into a trap. Arminius, a German prince raised by Romans, betrayed him. In the dark forests of Teutoburg, 20,000 Roman soldiers were annihilated. Rather than be captured, Varus fell on his sword, a knight's final act of defiance. Rome never again tried to conquer Germania. Varus's defeat changed history, but his tragic stand became a tale of honor amid horror. Arrian of Nicomedia, the scholar knight. Arrian may not have been a battlefield legend, but he was a knight of a different kind. As a Roman senator and equestrian, he governed Cappadocia and defended Rome's eastern borders. He led successful cavalry campaigns against the Alans, showing military genius. But he also wrote history, becoming one of the greatest Roman chroniclers. His account of Alexander the Great's campaigns remains a key historical source to this day. In Arrian, the sword met the scroll, and the knight became a bridge between war and wisdom. Lucius Artorius Castus, the real King Arthur. Buried in the windswept lands of Britain lies a mysterious knight, Lucius Artorius Castus. Commander of Roman cavalry in the 2nd century CE, he led campaigns against rebellious tribes and even crossed the sea to fight in Armorica, modern France. But legends grew around him. His name, his deeds, his base in Camalodunum, all became the seeds of the Arthurian legend. Though the myth may be embellished, Lucius was real, a hardened Roman knight whose legacy echoes through the ages in tales of Excalibur and Round Tables. Flavius Aetius, the last knight of Rome. As the empire crumbled, one man held the line, Flavius Aetius. A general, diplomat, and knight, he faced the greatest threat of his age, Attila the Hun. At the Battle of the Catalonian Plains in 451 CE, Aetius united Romans, Visigoths, and Franks to stop the Huns in one of the bloodiest battles in history. He succeeded. Europe was saved. But Rome, ever ungrateful, turned on its hero. Aetius was assassinated by Emperor Valentinian III. His death marked the twilight of Roman chivalry, but his legacy as the last of the Romans lives on. From the Republic's dawn to the Empire's dusk, these knights rode through fire and shadow, some in glory, others in tragedy. They fought not just for power, but for honor, freedom, and the soul of Rome. History may forget the names of emperors, but true knights, they become legends. Subscribe to History Plus for more epic tales from the past. Until next time, ride with honor.